Happy Monday, members of the Altcoin Buzz Army. We have a market that is very volatile right now. Of course, as you guys know, while I was away, I updated, and some of you were participating in the comments. I was away on the weekend, cashing out some crypto profits, I guess you could say, before this precipitous drop-off occurred. There are a lot of reasons for it. As I like to say on this channel, problems in this world are multivariate, and there are a few different factors that we can point to. I think all of them are pretty rubbish, to be honest. A lot of FUD. That's fear, uncertainty, doubt, if you're hearing that acronym for the first time. And right now, it still seems like we're a little bit skittish. People aren't quite sure what to do. And at the time of this recording, the market is down in this last hour. I want to highlight the fact that overall, however, on this Monday, despite this major and very dramatic drop off, there are still a lot of big winners on the week. A lot of actually all-time highs that we can still point to that have been made in the last even 12 hours, in the last 24, 48 hours, 72 hours, despite all that's happening here. So we'll be discussing all of that. I would like to think it's a nuanced perspective, looking at the negative, looking at the positive as well. In a nutshell, it's kind of groupthink. A small minority of people panic, right? And that precipitates a massive sell-off, which is then exacerbated by the way that we're structured in this market right now. People are, in my opinion, overly leveraged. And so it's a chain reaction, one after the other after the other. But the crux of it is a whole lot of FUD, and we'll get to that in just a second. So we'll discuss all that. We'll discuss altcoin projects. We'll discuss the big picture macro perspective, because even in the midst of all this doubt, the smart money, you know what they're doing? They are buying the dip. So not financial advice, but hey, that's what the smart money is doing. They're buying in the dip. You got to be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. That's the contrarian mindset. If you like this kind of content, guys, Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and altcoins, then be sure to like and subscribe to Altcoin Buzz. Here we are now on altcoinbuzz.io. We're not going to launch into this piece just yet, but this will give you a sense of whether or not we're bullish or bearish on Bitcoin. Spoiler alert, we are bullish, and we have our very own Bitcoin BTC price prediction video, which gives you a sense, Pratik gives you a sense rather, as to where he thinks the price is going to go in the short to intermediate future. Again, once some of this FUD dissipates and this fear kind of based fog begins to dematerialize for whatever reason, it's still kind of, I don't know, it's got its fangs sunk into the market right now, and a lot of people are falling for it, unfortunately. I personally, again, not financial advice, I'm not suggesting this is a strategy that you employ, but the market's been moving up so quickly that every time we do have a considerable dip, and it happens, by the way, once a month. Like if you're new to this space and you're seeing this for the first time, you're thinking to yourself, holy cow, what did I get myself into? First of all, don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Assume it's all going to go to zero. Anything you invest into cryptocurrency should be viewed as expendable or disposable income. That's number one. But then and not financial advice either, right? But then from a subjective point of view, as I was saying, we have these horrendous crashes, these volatile instances that happen about once a month. When that happens, I mean, that's like very much like a concentration of my activity. A lot, in my opinion, again, I'm not suggesting you follow this strategy, but in my opinion, a lot of investment is just kind of sitting around and waiting for the right opportunities, waiting for the right market dips. And if something dips by 20, 30, 40%, that's an opportunity for me, subjectively, to either buy it up or to open a new long position. So we're discussing here Bitcoin's price, where we think it's going to go. Check that out on altcoinbuzz.io in the near future. Here's also I guess a play-by-play of what exactly happened on CoinDesk.com. So Bitcoin price falls $8,000 in the span actually of just minutes. It was quite shocking. So it falls to a 3-week low. Altcoins crash as well, as is the trend. Bitcoin, as I like to say, is the tide that either raises or sinks all ships. In the case of this most recent set of circumstances, it sank a lot of ships and it wrecked a lot of people that got liquidated on their longs. So the biggest cryptocurrency by market value dropped again from about $60,000 to $52,000. So about $7,000 or $9,000, depending on the exchange you're looking at. It happened in the span of minutes once the Asian trading opened up. So if you're like me, you're on the East Coast, in my case, Canada, but whether it's the States or whatever, if you're kind of either EST or maybe Pacific time zone, this happened late night on Saturday, which was the early morning trading session for Asian markets. While the exact reason of the sudden crash is unknown, I'm going to postulate a few. The market mood may have soured due to rumors that the US Treasury is planning to charge several financial institutions for money laundering using cryptocurrencies. CoinDesk has been unable to independently verify any pending government action. Here is what some say is a tweet that precipitated a lot of the FUD, a lot of the panic by FX hedgers here. And this to me is a very irresponsible instance of, just activity on Twitter. I'm not saying this was solely responsible for what we saw for the panic that ensued, but this was one of the factors. Again, this is a multivariate situation, a multivariate formula. Here's one of the variables in play. So US Treasury to charge several financial institutions for money laundering using cryptocurrencies, according to sources. That's journalism today for the most part, right? According to sources. They're not named, they're not referenced, they're anonymous. And this, it speaks to me of just how fickle we are in this space, unfortunately. And I have a little bit of an axe to grind when it comes to that. I think we're far too reactive, and the slightest hint of, whether it's in this case money laundering rumors or negative rumors of any kind, we're far too reactive in this space. And I'll lump myself into the individuals here that I'm talking about. I think we're also over leveraged. I myself use leverage trading. So sometimes I trade 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, both in USDT and coin margined positions. And I just kind of feel that, when we do hit this negative news, as we did here, because number one, we're fickle in the space, and because we're over leveraged, the cascade effect, the chain reaction is so much more severe and so much more impactful than it would be in other spaces, unfortunately. But, this to me is ridiculous, this whole anonymous sources thing, because you could say the same thing in any context, in any capacity. So kind of mocking that particular Twitter account you have here, Anthony Sassano, Ethereum is ultrasound money, according to sources. Because, yeah, of course, there's plenty of people that are bullish that feel Ethereum long-term is ultrasound, ultra-hard money. So it just makes no sense to me that this is the kind of thing that would send us into a frenzy. So that was one factor, one variable. Let's look at another one here. In addition, CNBC last night tweeted a month-old report on India preparing to possibly ban cryptocurrencies in the country. That month-old report was based on a Reuters story citing an unnamed government official. As always, an unnamed, take our word for it, anonymous government official, of course. So you can check out their reporting here, CNBC's, that is, they tweeted out, India is about to ban cryptocurrencies. This is not breaking news. This is what they've been, apparently signaling for years now. China is the same thing. India is that we've had FUD about widespread national bans for years now. So for CNBC to come out and tweet this, it shouldn't have any impact on the market as far as I'm concerned. As they write, India is about to ban cryptocurrencies, fining anyone trading in the country or even holding such assets. The bill, one of the world's strictest policies against cryptocurrencies, would criminalize any direct involvement in crypto. Number one, who cares? First of all, it's not happening, but even if it were happening, who cares? I think India accounts for 1 or 2% of crypto activity, and even at that, it wouldn't eliminate 1 or 2% of the volume because plenty of people have the savvy, have the wherewithal to bypass any official national ban. So this is non-news. This is just pure FUD. And now, as you can see, I'm starting to kind of put 2 and 2 together, and I'm starting to think that maybe this was coordinated. Maybe the folks over here at FX Hedge and the folks over at CNBC and their banking puppet masters, maybe this was all the kind of thing that together, collectively was somewhat planned. I don't really know. Several news services treated the CNBC report as new, possibly contributing to the sell-off, as fears of the partial crypto ban in Turkey announced late last week may be spreading. A message, again, who cares? A message to a CNBC editor has yet to be responded to. There's also news, I think more importantly, out of China. So this is where the hash rate of the network dropped precipitously due to ongoing and I believe rolling blackouts in certain areas in China. That to me, if anything, was more significant than these stories here. But I'm thinking that maybe CNBC and other media outlets piled on because those stories were already in play. That was already something that people were discussing. Difficult to prove, but I don't know. Anyways, despite all the FUD, despite the potential even coordination here, it's got me a little bit frazzled just because, again, it's so unwarranted. It's so silly. and such a non-reason for us to react to the degree that we did react. It's ridiculous. But look, despite all that, here is the silver lining. I'm quoting here Bitcoin Archive, and I'm not a gigantic fan of Dogecoin, but it just goes to show you that there are a lot of opportunities, even in moments of retracement when we're seeing 10, 15, 20, 25, 30% retracements possibly on some of your favorite projects. Case in point, Dogecoin. They broke $50 billion, DOGE, that is. I say Doge, some people say doggy or dog. I say Doge, even if it's incorrect. That's just what I'm used to. It's programmed into me. Doge broke $50 billion market cap today for the first time. That means it's bigger than ING at $49 billion. It's bigger than Ford Motor Company at $48 billion, and it's bigger than Ericsson at $46 billion. This is not a tweet from a few days ago when Doge hit its recent all-time high. This is a tweet from this morning. As you can see, 10:38 a.m. on the 19th of April. That's Eastern Standard Time. And Dogecoin is down a little bit right now because the whole market seems to be down a little bit at the time of this recording in this last hour. We're getting spooked again for whatever reason. Again, a lot of weekends out there in the space right now. There's a lot of fickle and skittish activity. But Dogecoin, in the midst of this panic, in the midst of this sell-off, hitting a new all-time high, 41.8 cents, so about 4 hours ago from the time of this recording. And look, to be clear, I'm not even a big fan of Doge. I don't hold any Doge currently, but it illustrates my point is that in times of sell-off, I actually posted this on our Instagram account, I believe yesterday, but if you want to have that kind of bankster, oil baron mentality, right, of just let no crisis go to waste, well, you have to, again, the Warren Buffett quote is be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful. That's one, but I believe the one that's attributed to John Rockefeller is the way to make money, like serious money, the way to massively enrich yourself with generational wealth is to buy up assets when blood is running in the streets. When everything is being sold off and you can pick up assets for pennies on the dollar, that's when you make your move, when blood is running in the streets. And by the way, some of that blood may be your own. Not financial advice, but that's the time, at least in my opinion, to make some big moves. Again, you're dormant 99% of the time when it comes to cryptocurrency or any other asset class. You're dormant. You're waiting for buy signal opportunities. This to me was one of them. And there are a lot of projects that have done pretty well. I mean, take a look at Dogecoin. It's still up 374% on the week, for crying out loud. A lot of projects are down right now over the last hour, over the last 24 hours. Bitcoin Cash still up over the last week. VeChain still up over 60% this last week. Actually, let's check VeChain's all-time high because it keeps making new ones, surprisingly. Well, there you go, right there. New all-time high for VeChain. Again, in the midst of all of this chaos and this panic, 28 cents. That was set 14 hours ago. We also have a lot of activity from actually a project that we used to cover quite a bit more, but we haven't recently, I'll admit. NEO. Although NEO is down right now over the last hour, it's up 22.5% over the last 24 hours, up 65.8% over the course of these last 7 days, now sitting at about $105, just under $106. For reference, the all-time high was set 3 years ago at $198. Depending on how the next few days or few weeks go, I could see us easily getting up ahead of that $198 mark. So, all that being said, guys, I don't want to sound too preachy or too sanctimonious. I'm just kind of sharing my own subjective philosophy. There are always a lot of multivariate reasons for a market crash. I think this one was nonsense. It was FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt. And I think possibly now that you have more and more institutional heavyweights getting into the space, you have a lot of banking interests getting into this space. Although I can't prove it, I feel like maybe this was partially coordinated. But let me tell you one thing, and this is not my opinion. This is something that's being documented as we speak. What is the smart money doing in times like this? The smart money is buying the dip. BTFD. If you don't know what that acronym stands for, you can look it up. So let me know in the comments below, guys, if you've been taking advantage of this dip as per a recent poll on our community page. Many of you are, and I think the mentality is there because even though some of you want to, you may not necessarily have the cash to do so. Dips happen unexpectedly after all, but I think about 90% of you realize that dips are effectively buying opportunities. You can buy up your favorite assets at a relatively good discount and sometimes a very, very solid discount. Let me know, guys, in the comments below. What is it that you're buying up today, yesterday? What were you buying this weekend on the dip? What are you most excited about going forward? And what are your thoughts about this correction in general? Okay, let's discuss some altcoin updates here, beginning with Deeper Network. Bounty airdrop recipients can now claim their DPR tokens at dpr.deeper.network/airdrop. The link and claim period is good for 1 month only, so you better hurry up, although the total amount being claimed is less than 0.015% of the total supply. It's always good to receive free DPR. Congratulations to those that qualify and those that are eligible. Top 7 ICO here. Crowny, ticker CRWNY, will launch its public sale on the DAO Maker DAO pad on April 19th. So Crowny IO registrations on DAO pad will start on the 19th of April and end on the 20th of April. That's tomorrow at 12 p.m. UTC. So if you're watching this on the 19th or very early on the 20th of April, you still have time to participate. DAO pad hard cap is $145,000. IDO price is $0.00555 or about 0.555 cents. Initial market cap is 520,000. More information can be found with the link here that's included in the tweet. Equalizer Finance is in the news. At Equalizer Flash is the Twitter handle. In preparation for the Equalizer liquidity mining program, we are crafting a limited edition of 10 animated NFT non-fungible tokens that will be distributed to the top 10 liquidity providers on Uniswap and to the top 10 liquidity providers on PancakeSwap. Hashtag DeFi, hashtag Flash Loans, EQZ. That is the ticker. And now in news out of Firo, formerly known as Zcoin, they are announcing Firo's first incentivized liquidity pool on BSC, Binance Smart Chain. So a VFarm liquidity farm for Firo BNB has been launched on Value DeFi to incentivize usage and liquidity of BEP20 Firo on Binance Smart Chain. They're tweeting about it here. We have launched a liquidity mining farm for Firo BNB on Binance Chain with Value DeFi. Liquidity incentives will run from block 6703000. That's the 19th of April today, 21:10:41 GMT time to block 8303000. That is scheduled right now to be on the 14th of June 2021 at about 10:30 GMT. Firo, hashtag BSC. As always, guys, we link to all of this in the description below. So for more information, check out the links. I will include them in the description below. LuaSwap here is in the news. They're excited to announce Lua farming feature on Tomo Chain. That's going to be activated tomorrow on the 20th of April. And an initial amount of 1 million Lua. They kind of have that abbreviation, LUL, be rewarded to LPs in 1 month from the activation. The best time to awake your beloved tokens to start farming Lua. More information is available on medium.com. And then we have John Dodge here, at RealJohnDoe on Twitter. The Uniqly NFT non-fungible token game changer will open NFT staking event on the 24th of April. Just 1 day before the new landing page for their first randomly generated NFT shirt collection. Unique, which is the ticker UNIQ, is featured by Altcoin Buzz.io and available to trade on Uniswap and Bilaxy Exchange. Check out that right up here on uniqly.io/staking. And finally, guys, for all the FUD in the world, I don't want to spend too much time on these particular articles, but if you kind of need an inoculation against the FUD, maybe you feel like you need a little bit of a boost to lift your spirits, check out these next couple of articles that I'm going to be pointing out here on Cointelegraph.com. Time Magazine to accept crypto payments for digital subscriptions. This is nothing new. Crypto.com users can buy 18-month subscriptions of Time Magazine using CRO, as well as other cryptocurrencies. Time Magazine very much getting into the crypto blockchain space. Advertising, actually, I don't know whether or not they've filled the position yet, but I know they were advertising as recently as a few days ago for a new CFO, Chief Financial Officer. And in that job role description, they talked about how they should be familiar with blockchain, with Bitcoin, with decentralized ledger technology, DLT. So Time Magazine moving heavily in the direction of cryptocurrency. They are not discouraged by the most recent dip. You better believe it. Also on Cointelegraph.com, China is studying crypto as an investor tool. That's according to a People Bank of China deputy governor. Pretty high ranking there. China's not worried about that most recent dip, despite their blackout situation right now, which is kind of hurting the network. Actually, look, the network recovered just as quickly as it dipped. It's more the shockwave of fear and panic that did the real damage, but the network is just fine. Also, China endorses Bitcoin investment. 5 things to watch in Bitcoin this week. This from only a few hours ago. So time is bullish. China as a country is bullish. I'm bullish. I wouldn't call myself smart money, but I know that the smart money is also bullish. They are buying up the dip. So don't despair, guys. Let us know your thoughts about the whole situation in the comments below. But that about wraps it up for today. Hey, do be sure you're following us on all the regular social media channels. Keep checking back into altcoinbuzz.io for all the latest. Like, subscribe, share, hit the bell to receive notifications if you enjoyed today's video. In addition to that Bitcoin price prediction piece, we also have this price prediction piece for BNB, Binance coin. We ask, can it hit $1,000? In my opinion, it's inevitable that it will hit $1,000. So the real question is, when is that going to happen? I think in the intermediate term, we could easily see that. Just my opinion, not financial advice, guys. Hey, but best of luck if you do choose to invest. First and foremost, stay safe. Have a great Monday, a great start to your week. And as always, we do hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.